Now today's video is 100% inspired by you guys and your comments, because I put up a community post and I asked you to share with me any type of crazy amount of insurance increases that you're dealing with in your life, whether it's health insurance, homeowners insurance, car insurance. One I'll even get to in this video is pet insurance, one I didn't even think about. So it is just insane, guys, what everybody's dealing with right now with all these increases. And I decided to forego the sunglasses because I'm going to be reading a lot of your comments. So now I wanted to start with some comments from people who actually work in the insurance industry, because luckily I have people like that who watch my channel as well. And we can really pull a lot from this and give you an idea of just how broken this entire industry is right now. I'll put it up on the screen here so anybody who wants to read it can just pause it. This person's a fan of my content, thank you. They've been an insurance agent for 17 years and they say that I am correct and that they've never seen anything like what's happening right now. And neither has their principal, I guess their boss, in 50 years of being in the insurance business. And they say that the claim severity is up 34% in 2022. And they're saying in 2023, it's probably up even higher, a few more points. Basically, inflation, the supply chains are crushing the insurance companies right now and making it so that way they cannot quantify the sudden change we experienced from the pandemic. And insurance companies are folding up, going out of business, pausing to write business in 2023, and will continue to do so. Underwriting guidelines are unbelievably tight, preventing most from even getting a quote. My new business is down 85% in 2023, and it's a dumpster fire. My personal opinion is that insurance sector may be the catalyst that breaks all these issues you highlight in your talking points. It's ugly. Average rate increases on autos are up 33%. Primary homes are up 30%. Secondary homes and short-term rentals are up 45% on the West Coast. The big four insurance companies, which means Allstate, State Farm, Farmers, and Nationwide, have vacated or paused to write business in a total of 8 states, which has left many people without insurance and very few new companies willing to take on new customers. And basically, state insurance is the only option left for many people who are stuck in this predicament. Now, 8 states, guys, that's a lot, okay? That's coming up on 10, which means we're close to 20% of states throughout the entire country not eligible for homeowners insurance from the big insurance companies. How crazy is that? Here's another one from another insurance agent. I'm an insurance agent looking to change jobs. The past year has been rough. Layoffs and demotions are hitting us hard. Plus, most average people can't afford these crazy prices. It's going to get to the point that the fine and license suspensions for not having insurance will be cheaper than insurance itself. And you know what? I believe that, guys. Somebody mentioned something about unlicensed motorist coverage. When I was going through my car insurance bill to get it lowered for this most recent renewal period, one of the coverages I had for the longest time was uninsured motorist, and I never really saw that portion of it go up. But this time it doubled. It shot through the roof to the point where I dropped uninsured motorist coverage because I called my insurance company and I went through all of the coverage I had line item by line item for my car insurance and try to figure out, why am I paying for this? What does this actually cover? And asking every question I could think of to figure out what I should and shouldn't be paying for. Well, long story short, when I found out about uninsured motorist coverage, I only had $10,000 in coverage to begin with. They said that only covers a hospital visit. And I'm like, okay, well, I have health insurance that covers if I end up in the emergency room. So I don't even have to worry about this. Why am I paying for, illegals to be driving on the street here and I have to pay extra on my insurance bill in case they hit me? How upside down is that? Now, obviously, everybody that doesn't have insurance isn't illegal, but you get the point, right? You have a lot of people here, especially in Florida, that show up on the boat yesterday and they hop in the car, they drive and hit somebody. Oh, sorry. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I won't be paying for that. Here's another one from an underwriter. I work in the commercial insurance space as an underwriter, and the increases that we're taking on nursing homes, grocery stores, and other commercial buildings have increased easily 50% across the board. So it is not even just homeowners insurance and car insurance, guys. You're talking commercial facilities are seeing massive increases in insurance, which is going to have an impact on the economy when you think about it, because those places are going to be charging more for their services, right? If you have your mom in a nursing home, guess what? Next year's bill is going to be higher because insurance is up, right? The grocery store got an increase. Well, guess what? Food's going to cost more next year. You know, that favorite coffee shop you have on the corner, that little hipster place, yeah, they got a 25% increase. So the coffee's going to be more next year. You see where this is going? Like, this really has a ripple effect throughout the economy, and we haven't even seen the effects of this yet, guys. This is just beginning. Now, I really like this comment because it applies to what I talk about all the time when it comes to condos and real estate and what's happening with the insurance crisis here. And this guy says that he is the condo president at a condo in Colorado Springs, 146 units, not even in Florida, okay? Our insurance went from $126K in 2022 to $222K in 2023. That's a $96K increase. We had to raise our deductible to $50K and wind and hail to 10%, and it still only dropped $208K. We have no claims and we have new roofs. Not to mention, Freddie and Fannie Mac won't lend at 10% wind and hail, so it's hard to buy here now. It's currently taking up 45% of our monthly association dues, and we're getting nothing for it because at a $50K deductible, unless we have a major catastrophe, we're basically on our own. It's criminal in my opinion. Oh my God, yes, it is criminal, guys. Like, when I hear stories like this just gets me all riled up because I have covered some similar stories like this on my channel, and it is absolutely insane what's happening with this. What is the purpose of being forced by law to carry insurance for a condo association like this if you have a deductible so high that it doesn't matter that you have insurance, because chances are when you need to actually use the insurance, the deductible is going to be less than what needs to be done. So having this insurance coverage basically does nothing for you besides help bankrupt the people in the condo association and potentially hurt property values when people can no longer buy in that building. So this is a huge problem that buildings across the entire country are facing. Like, a lot of people think this is just a Florida problem. Clearly it's not. This person's out of Colorado Springs, okay? What kind of natural disasters they have over here? Maybe once in a while a wildfire, guys. There's no earthquakes, you know, flooding, probably not. You know, there's no hurricanes, tornadoes, nothing like that. And yet they're getting hit with these massive increases. Now, I like this one because it reflects the changes of what's happening with insurance. This guy says, a buddy of mine works for Allstate Corporate. He told me EVs have increased the rates for everybody. If you don't have one, there's a risk that you damage one. And they usually are written off because they cannot be easily repaired, or repairs can lead to further risks, or repairs take too long, etc. You know, repairing one of these EV cars is extremely expensive, guys. Like, especially if any of the battery components or anything like that are damaged. Like, the car is totaled, like this guy said. And when you total a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 car, you know, who's paying for that? The insurance has to pay, and in essence, all of us have to pay. So these high EV prices are actually hurting all of us when you look at it through the lens of insurance. I know a lot of people think that electric cars are the best thing since sliced bread, but right now, guys, they are causing more problems than it's worth. How about this one? Our car insurance went up 45% last year. I haven't had a ticket or claim in 15 years. My wife hasn't had a ticket or a claim filed in her whole life. We swapped and ended up saving and paying less than before they hiked our rate. We had Progressive, switched to Elephant, and have higher coverage and better customer service than Progressive. Now, that's definitely a lesson that, listen, if you're getting hit with an increase, guys, it is worth it to shop around, and I agree. I actually have Progressive for my car insurance, and I have yet to find a better deal. It could be because I've been with them for so long. You know, I've had Progressive for like 16 years, so they give you, like, you know, special treatment or loyalty, you know, points essentially when you've been with them for so long. And that could be why I can't find a better rate. But I was this close to dropping them because of how much they were charging for my renewal. Here's the increase that nobody likes to talk about or admit because it relates to your house payment. Listen to this. I know this also includes property tax, but my mortgage payment went up twice within a year because of tax and insurance increases. The first time I ever experienced this. In 6 months, my overall mortgage went up by 20%. My taxes and insurance went up 59% in just 6 months, guys. Taxes and insurance now make up 46% of my mortgage payment, and I just bought this house in 2019. I spent a lot of time waiting for a deal on a house, and even though I got it, the county and my insurer want to jack up the value to milk every last dime they can out of me. What's more is I don't see any added value for all this money they take. In 10 years of being a homeowner, I've never made a claim. The roads are still horrible, local government services are no better, the schools aren't improving. Where is it all going? Man, oh man, this is a question I constantly keep bringing up on my channel over and over again because you always hear this, right? I'm griping about this all the time, guys, and people back me up. Like, look, you see all these increases that we're getting on property taxes throughout the entire country, okay? But here in Florida, it's particularly bad when you see houses that used to be paying, $7,000 a year, and somebody bought the house and now their new bill is 40 or 50 grand a year, and that money seems to evaporate into thin air. And what's happening with this is completely disgusting, guys. Like, you see the amount that the schools take going up. You see the amount that the county's taking going up. You see the amount that they're giving to, pension programs going up. But the average person actually gets nothing out of this, and it should be illegal for them to increase property taxes by the amounts that they do because it is just horrendous. How about this one for insurance, okay? My Florida home insurance went from $1,900 to $4,300 for the year. At this point, my insurance payment is higher than my principal and interest payment. I bought for $65K in 2015 at 3.67%. And this is a rental property, and they rent it for $885 a month. I'll have to raise my rent drastically to keep up. So once again, another side effect, right? This is something I've been talking about for a long time here on the channel, that these expenses, the property taxes and insurance, guys, is getting to the point where it is now equally, if not more expensive than people's actual mortgage payments. What's going to be the side effect from this? Oh, this is a rental property, so your rent used to be $885, now it's going to be $1,285 a month, because that's just going to get me to break even as the landlord that needs to pay extra for this house. Like, don't you guys see how much of a problem this is? Crazy thing is, these insurance companies, in a way, I feel like are just putting themselves out of business, because it's going to get to a point, like this other person said earlier, that it's going to make less sense for people to have insurance and make more sense to risk it and pay any potential fines or risk a lawsuit in order to not have insurance, guys. I think that's where things are headed right now. That's how bad this insurance crisis really is. And everything I'm reading here is just backing me up. And this is stuff that you guys are saying here. In Dallas, Fort Worth, this person says that their car insurance and their homeowners insurance doubled in the past year. That's horrible. Here's another example of how these insurance companies get out of, basically ever having to pay a claim, okay? And this is something that I've talked about here before. We kind of covered this a little bit ago, but this is happening to somebody with their residential house, because sometimes people think that this can only happen with a condo with the high deductibles, but think again, guys, it can happen in the middle of nowhere, and where I mean, South Dakota. Look at this. I recall you bringing up in one of your videos, the end game for the home insurance companies is to basically insist on a deductible so high that it's no longer useful as insurance. You have to get it anyway to satisfy the bank. Felt like collusion, but I could not find a new policy with less than an $8,000 deductible for hail, which is an issue in South Dakota. But it's just a year ago, I was able to get a policy with a $1,000 deductible for the same house. No claims ever in my lifetime or at that location. So think about that, guys. The deductible for the hail damage went from $1,000 to $8,000 in 1 year. And so maybe the insurance would still kick in if you have a lot of hail damage at your house, but it needs to be pretty severe for you to have over $8,000 worth of hail damage, I would imagine. So basically the game that they're playing here, in case you didn't catch on, is that they want to make the deductibles so high that you're basically self-insuring your property up to a certain level, up to that $8,000. And in the condo association example we talked about, up to $50,000. And so what happens is a lot of times the damage that comes in is lower than that, and they know it because they have all the statistical figures on this. That's how they choose these numbers at the insurance companies, and they make it so that way they basically never have to pay a claim. And I remember last time I talked about insurance in one of my videos, one guy said that, hey, one of my friends works at an insurance company. He told me that, you know, if an insurance company ever thought they would seriously have to pay out a claim for you, they wouldn't write you a policy. And that just goes to show you how sinister insurance really is. How about pet insurance, guys? A lot of people have animals out there that they love, and they want to make sure they're not going to go bankrupt when they have to take them to the hospital or the vet. Listen to this one. Pet insurance was already getting crazy at $179 a month, okay? Started at $50 a month 6 years ago. Then, at the end of 2023, they jacked it up to $315 a month. That's a car payment, guys, by the way, a cheap car. And come January, it would cost $374 a month. It was a very good plan with a 90% reimbursement, and when I called to cancel, they told me the plan was no longer sold. Still, I found very similar coverage for $124 a month, which goes to show you I have done my due diligence every year and have gotten new quotes. Still, even at $124 a month, you're talking that this policy is still more than double than it used to be 6 years ago at only $50 a month. That just goes to show you how much inflation has impacted insurance. It's to the point, guys, where people might not even want to have pets anymore because of stuff like this. Like, it's crushing everything. Clean driving record, over 40, no accidents, and insurance for the same car has gone from $189 a month for full coverage 2.5 years ago to $329 a month. Another example of how people are going to get hit with rental increases here. My landlord's insurance went up. I don't know by how much, but it was enough for them to raise my rent $250 per month this year. Even when it's not my insurance, I'm still paying the insurance increase. That's 100% correct. In fact, everybody's going to be paying these insurance increase, even if you have no sort of insurance whatsoever. There's no escape, guys. Even people that want to, you know, get out of the rat race and they don't want to own a house anymore because of how crazy all this is, guess what? Oh, you have an RV? You have to have insurance for that too. That's probably through the roof also. I didn't see a single example actually in these comments of anybody mentioning how expensive RV insurance is now, or camper insurance or whatever. But I'm willing to bet that's probably through the roof too. This one just kind of made me laugh, but it's also sad at the same time. Listen to this. I added the amount of insurance I've paid throughout my life so far, and it's approximately 130 grand. Imagine all the other things you could have done in life with that 130 grand. Did you guys hear that? We got the Daytona 500 going on right behind me over here. It's always a race we have on the daily basis happening here in Miami. It's pretty wild, you know? Get to see cars going well over 100 miles an hour down Collins Avenue on the regular, and nobody ever wins the race. And it's totally legal too, guys. Like, you can just do that here and you won't get a ticket, you won't get arrested or anything like that. The cops just watch. Back to the EV statement, okay, people are paying more for having insurance on EVs as well, because take a look at this. This guy says that my Tesla Model 3 insurance went from $170 a month, he's an excellent driver, no accidents, to $230 a month in the LA area of California. And he says the crazy part is I'm looking at almost double the prices at the other companies. This comment made me just think of something. Like, there's like different unique examples here that I wanted to bring up. And this one kind of highlights how when you have a brand new house, it can actually save you quite a bit on homeowners insurance. Like, besides all the benefits that home builders are giving people right now, all the incentives, all the mortgage rate buy downs, guys, the other benefit to buying a brand new house is typically your homeowners insurance rates are much lower. And this is proof right here. I live in Cape Coral, and I have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square foot new build. My homeowner's insurance went from $1,140 to $1,450, which is not bad at all. It's an increase, but still, man, that's way cheaper than most people pay here for insurance. Taxes, though, went from $4,200 to $4,900, And all other insurance has stayed the same even after moving to Florida from Connecticut in 2022. And they have Citizens Insurance. So as you can see, the actual property taxes went up more than their insurance, and that's something that's likely to continue as these property values go up, guys. So everybody loves to celebrate the home values going up. Congratulations, now you owe the county more money. One of my viewers from Scotland said it's the same thing's happening over there. Their annual car renewal was 288 quid. This year it's 455 quid for a smaller engine car and no claims in 20 years. Simply mind-boggling. The excuse, inflation. Yet I'm being told it's down to 5%, and these are just made up numbers basically by the government at this point. But it's still cheaper than the US, but nearly 80% increase can't be justified. I agree, my friend. Like, there's no way that these increases are justified because insurance companies still make big profits and CEOs get big bonuses and all of this, and yet somehow we're supposed to believe that these guys need the money? Come on. But one thing that this guy's comment also shows you is just how much cheaper insurance is in the UK than it is here in the US. My home insurance went up 43% this year and 80% last year. No claims, Arizona, so no natural disaster. I have a stucco home with a tile roof, only 15 years old. No reason for that substantial of an increase. My auto insurance doubled after my small claim in 20 years. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Like, people that haven't had claims in 20, 30 years are seeing increases for never making a claim. You're getting punished for everybody else, okay? And on top of that, people that live in areas where there's essentially no natural disasters like Arizona are also getting hit with these increases. Like, people like to pick on Florida, say, oh, look, the entire state is subject to getting slammed by a hurricane. Yeah, it is. But guess what? People in Arizona are paying for it. That's what you need to understand with insurance right now, is that it doesn't matter where you live, you're gonna feel the effects from this. So to just say, oh, I'm gonna move out of Florida or move out of wherever this is happening to you is not a guarantee you're gonna be able to escape this problem. Now, this is what I think is gonna be happening to a lot of people in the next couple of years as these insurance and tax rates keep going up. Listen to this. I sold my house this year because the cost of insurance has went up the last 3 years from 6K to 6.5K to 8.3K. My house was built in '94, so no hurricane codes since the change in 2008. My car insurance is also up. I sold my house and decided to rent for a while and wait for the housing crash and want to buy new construction, so my new insurance will be a little more reasonable, like I just said. Also, AAA dropped me for no reason, so I ended up with Edison Insurance for $8,300 this past year. I had quotes as high as $13,000 for the year for insurance. It's sick what is going on. I agree, guys. Like, once again, these rate increases are completely unjustified. We're getting hit with 50 years worth of insurance increases in like 3 years right now, across the board with everything. And this just can't go on, you know? And obviously there's more here that I would like to read to you guys. Like, I literally had over 500 people comment on this, giving different examples of what happened. So I really appreciate everybody who participated in it. But if I read everybody's, it would just be, you know, a 5-hour-long video. It would be ridiculous. So I wanted to just highlight some of the ones that resonated with me and I thought made a good example of what people are experiencing right now. And feel free to keep making those comments, guys. I might make another video like this in the future, and I can always come back and reference these things. And I love sharing, you know, your personal anecdotes, because instead of just going by some news story or saying this is what the data says, these are real world examples of exactly what's happening to you guys that watch this channel. And it doesn't get any more realistic than that. Once again, Happy New Year to everybody watching. It's been an awesome 2023. You guys got me over 100,000 subscribers this year. Maybe we can hit over 200,000 next year. We'll see. Hopefully you'll be one of the lucky ones that doesn't get hit with any crazy insurance increases, but highly unlikely. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you don't want to wait for my next video to come out, check out this one on the screen right over here, and I'll see you in the next one.